Chapter 14. Party night screw up. Deku returned to his team's apartment. They were all going to meet there and then head into Vale for the party. Deku was the only one in their room right now. On his bed he noticed a set of clothes and a letter. "Here's your new outfit. Can't wait to see how you look in it, Aiju. And I can't wait for you to see mine. Meet you at the party. Hunky," the letter said. The letter also had a cute drawing of Evelyn on it. Deku smiled. He then unfolded the outfit and had a full look. Then there was a knock at the door. Deku opened the door to see Ruby. "Hey Ruby. What are you doing here?" Deku asked. "Hi Aijuku. I have a confession to make," Ruby said. "What is the confession?" Deku asked. "I maybe have finished building your weapons." "I hope you're not mad," Ruby said. "I'm not mad. I was looking forward to finishing it myself, but it's probably better I had an expert finish it." "Thanks Ruby," Deku said. "You're welcome. Now I need to dash," Ruby said. "See you at the party," Deku said. Ruby the sped off in a ball of petals. Penny and Jack then walked up. "Hello Aijuku," Penny said. "Hey girls," Deku said. "Has Ruby been here?" Jack asked. "Yeah. She's just given me my new hunter weapons. Now my set is complete," Deku said. "So, Evelyn's finished it. That bunny can work when she puts her mind to it," Jack said. "Yep. And she has also already gone to the party," Deku said. "Why?" Jack asked. "She probably wants to show it off at the party to all of us at the same time," Penny said. "Speaking of the party, we should get changed," Jack said. "Alright. I'll head into the bathroom," Deku said. As Deku entered the bathroom, and Jack and Penny entered the kitchen, Penny noticed the letter Evelyn had written. "So, you've made your choice, Evelyn?" Penny asked. Penny then put the letter in the bin and entered the kitchen. A few minutes later Penny and Jack had changed, and David had arrived. "Okay. I'm coming out," Deku said. Deku then exited the bathroom. His outfit hadn't changed much from his previous one. However, the black lines and white shoulder pads were now bright red. "Not much changed from the original," David said. "If it ain't broke, don't fix it," Deku said. "I like it. The red fits well with the green," Jack said. "You look wonderful, Aijuku," Penny said. "Thanks," Deku said. "Now let's get going. We shouldn't keep Evelyn waiting. Especially tonight," Penny said. The four then left Beacon and headed to the club. "What did you say the name of the designer was?" David asked. "Honey Void. One of Velvet's teammates introduced her to me, and man, isn't she something. Speaking of which, where Evelyn? Wasn't she with you?" Young asked. "Actually, she's already inside. She left before we did, so we didn't catch a glimpse of her new clothes," Deku said. "Hey. How in tarnation did I miss her? I've been here since this afternoon." "Oh, maybe they've seen her." "Hey, girls," Young said. Deku follows Yang's gaze to see two peculiarly dressed girls, who seem to be trying their hardest to ignore Young. "Come on, don't be like that." "Who's the boss tonight?" Young asked. The two girls looked at each other and signed before reluctantly walking closer. "Hey, Melanie. Milshia. How's it going?" Young asked. "Well enough until we had to interact with you, Chrome Cow," Melanie said. "If you need a milking, I'm afraid we're fresh out of empty jugs," Milshia said. "Poster girls for sore losers, are you?" Young said. "You just got lucky, Goldilocks," Melanie said. "Enjoy the memory, because it was a one-time occurrence," Milshia said. Yeah. Have you seen a rabbit faunus with purple hair today?" Young asked. "Not that I can think of," Melanie said. "Maybe she had a costume with a wig," Milshia said. That would explain it. There's no way anyone could have recognized her, that way Young said. She was the one with the trench coat, Blake said. A trench coat, the twins asked. How do you know that, Young asked. Ninja secret, Blake said, heading back into the club. Ninja S. You can't leave me hanging like that, Blake, Young said, as she then followed after her. So, wanna head in? The crowd's moving, Deku said. Gladly, Penny said. Let's. Carrots avoided us enough, Jack said. Yes. I wanna see her outfit, David said. Good. Thanks all the same, Melanie and Milshia, Deku said. Well, at least someone remembered to thank us, Melanie said. I swear on this hairpin, I will tear her hair out, Milshia said. The twins then entered the club. Yikes. What the hell did Young do to be hated so much, David asked. Somehow. I really don't wanna know, Jack said. This place did just undergo renovations, so. I think I have a solid guess, Deku said. We can worry about property damage later. Let's not keep Evelyn waiting, Penny said. The four then entered the club. They stood just off the dance floor, where a sea of people were dancing. So many people, Penny said. Damn, it's like another climate in here, Jack said. It's like a sauna in here, Deku said. I know, right, David said. You should really forego the jacket, Jackie, or you won't survive, Evelyn said. Found you at last, Deku said. Pfft, it's not like you caught me, bucko. I just stopped running, Evelyn said. Deku turns around to see Evelyn in a blue and white dress with a black ribbon on her head. Evelyn, Deku said. I got you, I got you. That's the reaction I wanted, Evelyn laughed. Gods above, carrots. You went all out with this costume, didn't you, Jack said. And I even managed to not mess the colors up, this time, Evelyn said. You look so, Evelyn, Penny said. Yeah. So pretty, David said. You look stunning, Deku said. More. Praise me more, Evelyn laughed. I feel undressed. This is a new sensation, Penny said. No. Stop right there, partner, Evelyn said. What, Jack said. Excuse me, Penny asked. Evelyn turned in Penny's direction and is now poking her in the chest with one finger and with a big pout on her face. This is a party. You're supposed to have fun, not mope because you don't have a pretty custom-made dress offered by an awesome tailor, Evelyn said. But Penny said. No buts. Initiate cheerup.exe, Evelyn said. I haven't downloaded that patch yet. I mean, what, Penny said. Carrots, I admire your spirit, but I doubt your partner can simply cheer up on command like a computer, Jack said. True. We need drastic measures, then. David, dance with Penny, Evelyn said. What, Penny said. Run that by me again, David asked. You. My partner. The dance floor, Evelyn said. But I can't, David said. What? Are you saying you're too good to dance with my partner, Dik Begis, Evelyn asked. No, I'm saying I can't dance, period, David said. I don't know how to dance either. I lack the required knowledge, Penny said. So does everyone else here. No excuses, Evelyn said. Evelyn then threw Penny onto David. Evelyn, David shouted. The two landed on the dance floor. Oh, watch it, a partygoer said. I'm sorry, David said. Hey, another partygoer said. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, Penny said. David and Penny moved close to each other. That little. Are you okay, Penny, David asked. Yes, I'm alright. Thanks for your concern, Penny said. Putting us in the spot like that. That was a purposely misrepresented sentence, Penny, David said. Oh, I see, Penny said. Penny was then bumped. "Hey, watch it, pal." "And he completely ignored me," David said. "I guess we only have limited space to move," Penny said. "Yeah. We should get out," David said. "Hey." "But why?" Penny asked. "Because we can't dance," David said. "I know that, but maybe we could try," Penny asked. "Well, you sure you're okay with me?" David asked. "Absolutely," Penny said. Penny and David then began to dance together. "See, my methods may be out there, but I bring results," Evelyn said. "They do seem to be having fun. Although, carrots, I'm surprised. After that thing in the library. I didn't think you'd give David to Penny," Jack said. "Oh, it's no big deal. She's been looking forward to this ever since Young invited us. She's my partner and such a sweet girl. She can have him. I'll take seconds all for myself tonight," Evelyn said. "What are you talking about?" Deku asked. "Oh, nothing," Evelyn said. "You mean here? But where would you even?" Jack asked. "I didn't come here early just for the surprise effect, you know," Evelyn said. "Seriously? What are you two talking about?" "And what this talk about seconds?" Deku asked. "Don't worry about it. Now come dance with me, we have a full night ahead of us for activities," Evelyn said. Evelyn then grabbed Deku's hands and started to pull him to the dance floor. "Enjoy your night, you two," Jack said. "Thanks, Jackie," Evelyn said. Evelyn and Deku were now in the sea of dancing partygoers. "Evelyn, wait. I don't really know how to dance," Deku said. "Shut up. Have you seen your moves in combat class?" "You can definitely dance," Evelyn said. "But I'm not very good at dancing. I was kicked off the dance team for when we put on a festival back home. I was only able to dance for half of it," Deku said. Evelyn then put her arms around Deku's neck. "That doesn't matter. We're here to have a great time. So just dance," Evelyn said. Evelyn then began to dance. "Come on, dance, Aiju. All it is just moving your body to music," Evelyn said. Deku then began to dance. "That's it," Evelyn said. Deku smiled as he got into his moves. The two danced until they were covered in sweat. While Deku was completely fine, Evelyn's legs aced. "Hey Aiju," Evelyn said. "Yeah, Evelyn. What is it?" Deku asked. "I need a break. As much as I like dancing with you, I don't have your endurance," Evelyn said. "Oh, sorry," Deku said. "It's alright. I am the one who encouraged you to dance. Let's get off the dance floor and have a drink," Evelyn said. "Sure thing," Deku said. "Now be a good boyfriend and help this poor girl off the dance floor," Evelyn said. Yeah. You're gonna have to try harder to get me flustered," Deku said. "Oh. So you think you're immune? I'll show you," Evelyn said. Deku then helped Evelyn off the dance floor. "Okay. I'm gonna get us some drinks. You find us a table," Evelyn said. "But don't you need to sit down?" Deku asked. "I can last a little bit longer. I'll keep up with your pace for a good time," Evelyn said. Okay," Deku said, not exactly knowing what that meant. Deku then found a table for two. Soon Evelyn arrived with 2 big glasses of alcohol. "Are those?" Deku asked. "Yep. They're alcohol, have a drink," Evelyn said. "But Evelyn, I don't," Deku said. "Neither do I. But this is a party. You gotta let loose a little. And if you don't like it, then don't drink it," Evelyn said. I guess you have a point," Deku said. Deku and Evelyn then had a sip of alcohol. "What do you think?" Evelyn asked. It's not as bad as I thought it would be," Deku said. "See? You were worrying about nothing," Evelyn said. That's right now though, Deku said. Scared of getting drunk, Evelyn asked. Yeah. I mean, what would I do when I'm not in control, Deku asked. You'll be having a good time. Until the hangover kicks in, Evelyn said. Deku laughed. And took another sip, much bigger than his first one. You know, this kind of reminds me of teenage drama stories, Deku said. How so, Evelyn asked. You know. Two teenage couples go to a party. They get drunk and then they end up swapping partners and ending up in bed with each other, Deku said. Well, I can assure you that won't happen, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. We'll see, Deku said. Followed by a hiccup. The two then finished their drinks. Deku. I have something to tell you, Evelyn said. What? What is it, Deku asked. Evelyn then got up from her seat and sat in Deku's lap, putting her arms around his neck. Evelyn. What are you doing, Deku asked. I haven't thanked you for saving my form, Harold, Evelyn said. You don't need to thank me. I was just doing my job, Deku said. Still. I want to thank you, Evelyn said. That's fine. But could you please get off me before people get the wrong idea, Deku said. Evelyn laughed. I think it's a bit too late for that. Have a look around, Evelyn said. Deku looked around. He saw a bunch of couples making out with each other, grinding each other. He even recognized some Beacon students. Deku blushed profusely and looked back at Evelyn. Now about that reward. Deku. I love you, Evelyn said. Evelyn then closed her eyes and kissed Deku on the lips. After calming down from the shock, Deku began to kiss back. Their hand then began to wander. Evelyn's hands wandered to Deku's chest and began to unzip his outfit. Meanwhile, Deku's hands wandered lower down Evelyn's body. His hands reached her butt and then went under her skirt, and firmly grabbed her big booty. Evelyn then parted her lips from Deku, a strand of saliva connected between them formed as they parted. Let's go somewhere more private. I hope your endurance extends to bedroom arts, Evelyn said, as they pulled out 6 condoms from her boobs. Deku didn't respond. Evelyn then stood up, pulling Deku up with her. She was about to lead him to a private room when... I'm in the lead, Ruby shouted as she ran by. This isn't a race, Ruby. Get back here, Weiss shouted as she chased after Ruby. Evelyn laughed. She seems to be having fun. Let's go have ours, Evelyn said. She had put 3 in his belt when she noticed something off about Deku. I'm not gonna lose, Deku said. How, Evelyn said. I'm not gonna let you win. Ruby, Deku said. Deku then chased after Ruby and Weiss. Oh gods. He's drunk off his tits, Evelyn said. Evelyn then went to chase, but she fell over. Oh shit. I'm also very drunk. Need to find Penny. She can help, Evelyn said. Evelyn then got up and stumbled away. Penny and David were now off the dance floor. David's legs were aching after dancing for so long. I'm so sorry. I should have realized, Penny said. Hey, it's okay. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it, David said. Thanks, David, Penny said. For what, David asked. For indulging me. Dancing with me. Ever since I met you, I've done so many new things, met new people. I just wanted to say thank you for being my friend, and being there for me, Penny said. There's no need to thank me for that. But you're welcome, Penny, David said. Speaking of friends. Penny, we got a problem, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Evelyn. What happened, David asked. What do you mean a problem, Penny asked. Ruby drank too much, Evelyn said. What, David asked. You can't cath me, Weiss Ruby shouted. Young, this is all your fault, Weiss shouted. Or, come on, let her live a little, I say, Young said. Followed by a hiccup. The party has officially gone off rails, Blake said. Why would someone let her drink, period? She's 15, David said. She's also a hunter in training at a secondary grade combat academy. Since we start going on life-risking missions on the first-year curriculum, we are adults in the eyes of the law, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Seriously, David asked. Anyway, Weiss needs some help for a pincer maneuver, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Evelyn. Are you also intoxicated? Penny asked. Just a tad. Also, we have another problem, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. What is it this time? David asked. I may have ever so slightly, Evelyn said. Penny, Deku shouted. Deku then tackled Penny to the ground. Got an Aiju drunk, Evelyn said. Hello there, Aijuku, Penny said. Hi, Penny. Has anyone told you are very lovable? I want to kiss you, Deku said. Deku then passed out on top of Penny. Seems that problem has solved itself, David said. Penny then stood up and held Aijuku in her arms. I'll leave him with Jack while I go help Weiss with Ruby. I'll see you later, David. Be sure to hydrate, Penny said. Penny then left, leaving David and Evelyn alone. So, had fun? Evelyn asked. Oh. Yeah, I did, but man did that tire me. Why is it that I got cramps despite aura? David asked. Because it's not damage from a threat, it's damage from exertion. If it blocked that as well, no one would be able to exercise, Evelyn said. Makes sense, David said. Hey, if you want to rest, they're the upper floor, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Oh. Well, I can just sit on one of these chairs, David said. Instead of a large, soft couch, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. How am I supposed to say no to that? Let me just grab a drink, David said. No need for that, hunky, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Evelyn then grabbed David's hand and started to drag him off. She stumbled as she did. What? Hey, Evelyn, David said. Evelyn then dragged David across the club to a VIP room. Wait a minute. Is this the VIP room? David asked. Courtesy of the owner, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Evelyn, how did you get the keys for this room? David asked. I borrowed them from young, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Borrowed as in, David said. I asked if I could use it. Honestly, you think so little of me? Evelyn asked. Followed by a hiccup. It's not that I think so little of you, it's that you would find it amusing, David said. Moo. Can't deny that. But I couldn't really do it, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. You couldn't. What stopped you? David asked. Didn't want to risk an interruption, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Interruption? David asked. David then sat down and took a bottle of water and drank it. You need this room to do something in particular? David asked. You could say that, yes, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Evelyn then sat very close to David. Evelyn, David asked. Evelyn said. Remember that thing about personal space? David asked. I do, Evelyn said. And David said. Well, do you remember? Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. Evelyn then sat in David's lap. That I don't really care much about that rule, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. David's face went red, his heart was beating way too fast and he couldn't stop looking at her eyes. David then let go of the bottle and put his hands on Evelyn. What's wrong? You're shaking, Evelyn said. Followed by a hiccup. It's not that something's wrong, but... Evelyn, what are you? David asked. I knew I would need to spell it out. I do. There's a cute girl in your lap in a secluded room. What do you think is happened here? Evelyn asked. Followed by a hiccup. David wondered why Evelyn said Deku's name, but chalked it up to her intoxication. I'm not. It's just. Is this real life? David asked. No fantasy, Evelyn said. Evelyn, David said. Shush, Evelyn said. Evelyn then started to make out with David. Penny and Weiss had now captured drunk Ruby, and Penny was holding on to Ruby so she couldn't escape. Jack and Weiss were sitting in a booth, and Deku was still passed out, his head resting on Jack's shoulder. Penny caught me. Penny wins, Ruby said. Never, ever let her go. In fact, may I suggest the drunk tank, as the vernacular goes, Weiss said. I don't think that will be necessary, but I will be sure to keep her restrained until the effects of alcohol die down, Penny said. Considering her body size, it may be a while, Jack said. Not a problem, leader. As David may testify, I have plenty of energy. Now let's go, Ruby, Penny said. We. To the dank wank, Ruby said. No, Ruby. Drunk tank, Penny said. Lank shank, Ruby said. Drunk tank, Penny said. Honestly, sometimes it feels like I have a big overgrown baby as a partner. Want to trade? Weiss asked. Sorry, I kind of got attached to David and Izuku. Also, Penny and Evelyn would never forgive me, Jack said. Speaking of Evelyn, I saw her persuade David and Penny to dance. And I saw her dancing with Izuku. But then I caught a glimpse of her pulling him upstairs a little while ago. What's up with that? Weiss asked. Wait. Evelyn took David upstairs, Jack asked. Yes, Weiss said. Oh, Jack said. What's wrong? Weiss asked. Jack sighed. There's going to be a long conversation about this, between the four of them. I hope they'll work things out. Anyway. You have the full idea of what's happening, Jack said. That's. Let's just say peculiar, Weiss said. That's our team in a nutshell, Jack said. I see. But as a leader, aren't you worried that this will end badly? Weiss asked. Honestly. Maybe a bit. But if it was anyone but Penny, Evelyn, David and Izuku involved, I would be worrying more so. But because it's them. I actually think this will go well, Jack said. For everyone except you, I guess, Weiss said. Excuse me, Jack asked. Just saying, if it goes as well as you think it goes. You all share the same sleeping space, Weiss said. Oh, God's bloody damn it, I hadn't thought of that, Jack said. You never do until it happens. Maybe they'll let you join in, Weiss said. What? Jack said. I mean, it would fit in with your team motto. Peculiar, Weiss said. I don't think any of them would be interested, Jack said. That's what I thought about my sister. You should have seen my face the first time my older sister snuck a boy in our room during a party, Weiss said. You know, Weiss. You're different than what I thought you'd be, Jack said. Didn't think a Shni could talk about this kind of stuff, Weiss asked. That's not what I meant, Jack said. Jack, it's okay. I understand. I may not be involved in the family business yet, but I read the news growing up, I heard the rumors. I remember the name Ivory, Weiss said. Jack scowled. So? It was no rumor, Weiss asked. No, I was there when it happened, Jack said. You mean? Your father? I don't even know what to say. This is unforgivable, Weiss said. You're crying, Jack asked. I apologize, it's just. The Shni company was founded by my grandfather, Nicholas. My mother's father. My father made it big, and more profitable than it's ever been. But he also dragged it through the mud. and the blood of the people he crushed underfoot. I'm more and more aware of it with each day I spend away from Atlas. And there's no white fang to shade it in grey, this time. The Schnee Company, my grandfather legacy, is stained with the blood of innocents, Weiss said. I'm sorry, Weiss, Jack said. You are sorry, Weiss asked. I know. Sounds crazy. But thing is, no matter what happened to them, I love my family and I'm proud of them. Can you say that, Jack asked. My mother is in a continuous drunken stupor to escape the loveless marriage she's in and how her family is falling apart. My little brother hates me, and my father. Well, at least I have Winter, even if I rarely see her, Weiss said. At least her. And hey, if you ever want to talk about this, give me a call, Jack said. How did I end up being the one comforted, here, Weiss asked. I told you. Peculiar is our team's motto, Jack said. Now, what do you think of Izuku, Weiss asked. Why do you ask, Jack questioned. Weiss then pointed down. Jack looked down to see Deku in her lap, and their hand running through his hair. This caused Jack to blush. Izuku is someone who anyone can confide in and make them feel better, Jack said. If you say so, Weiss said. Deku then woke and sat up. What happened, Deku asked. You and Evelyn got drunk together and then you passed out on Penny. I've been looking after you since, Jack said. Thank you. My head hurts, Deku said. That's a hangover for you. I'll get you some water, Weiss said. So Izuku, what do you remember before passing out, Jack asked. All I remember is talking and drinking with Evelyn. She then wanted to tell me something, but I can't remember anything past that, Deku said. I see, Jack said. Hey. Where's Evelyn, Deku asked. I don't know. Tired calling her, but her scroll's off, Jack said. I see. I'll have to find her to ask what she said, Deku said. I think that won't be possible until tomorrow, Jack said. Probably for the best. I should sleep off my hangover, Deku said. He's so innocent, Jack thought. Soon Weiss returned with a glass of water for Deku. The three then stayed where they were as Deku's hangover subsided. After his hangover was gone, Penny returned with a hungover Ruby. Weiss then took Ruby off her hands. It was nearly time for them to leave to catch the 3 AM bullhead to Vale, that Young had set up. All right. I think we should leave and head to the bullhead, Jack said. But what about Evelyn and David, Deku asked. I'm sure those two will find their way back to Beacon safely. So, there's no need to worry, Penny said. If you say so, Penny, Deku said. Actually, can we wait a bit longer, Penny asked. Only for 10 minutes, Jack said. That's plenty of time. Izuku, can you dance with me, Penny asked. Oh, sure. But why, Deku asked. Because I haven't danced with you. And I want to make sure your night ends on a high note, Penny said. I see. Penny, I'll be happy to dance with you, Deku said. Penny and Deku then went onto the dance floor. Even though their time was short, Deku enjoyed dancing with Penny. After 10 minutes, Jack, Penny and Deku left the club for the bullhead back to Beacon. After arriving back in their dorm room, Jack and Deku fell asleep in their beds, still wearing their clothes. Over in the ruins in the Emerald Forest. Having to keep a low profile really sucks. Hopefully we can get the safe house once they arrive. Although, with Bella around, I don't know exactly how safe the place will be. Honestly, the boss wanting her close too far suited me just fine. I wonder about the sudden change of heart. It's not like those guys are strong enough to cause us problems. Just weather would be enough. Well, at least that means that the boss got strong enough to not need her protection anymore, that's Howard said. The fire lighting up the ruins then went out. Son of a bitch. This is the third time, tonight. Stupid drafts, stupid wins, stupid ruins. Where's the lighter? Howard said. Oh, don't worry none, Howard. I've got you covered, a voice said. A girl with brown hair and in a white cloak then ignited her lighter. Behind her were a male and female figure, but they were covered in darkness. God's damn it, Bella. What's the big idea? You almost gave me a heart attack, Howard said. Only almost. Or Bella said. Right. Also, hi, boss. Thriller, Howard said. Howard. You're looking scruffy, Weather said. Considering I've been hiding in this forest for the last week, it's to be expected. No matter how hands-off Ozpin may be, there's no way he didn't request an investigation, Howard said. He hasn't, Thriller said. Excuse me, Howard asked. We came on an airship into Vale, remember? 8 to policemen and there's no ongoing investigation regarding an attack on Beacon students, Weather said. Is he trying some kind of psychological warfare on us or something? What the hell is the deal with that guy, Howard asked. He needs information. He believes he will get more out of us acting again than from hunting us. So, he waits, Thriller said. But that puts people at risk, Howard said. Remnant to Howard. That's a good thing for us, Weather said. I know it is. But it's so damn, Howard said. Moo, enough, Bella said. The flame coming from Bella's lighter rapidly expanded before going back to normal. Whoa, Howard said. Arthur said. Bella, Weather said. Who cares about some stupid old man, Bella said. We care. Considering he's one of the strongest hunters in existence, Howard said. Who does nothing but sit on his wrinkly ass in his tower all day playing a game of imaginary chess against pieces he can't see and doesn't try to see. I didn't come here for him. I came here for my big brother, Bella said. The fuck is she talking about, Howard asked. Sunday. Day 42. Evelyn woke up to see that she was still in the club VIP room. She then noticed that she was next to David. Oh. No, 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 no. What have I done? I'm sorry, Penny. I'm sorry, Aiju. I've ruined 2 relationships thanks to my drunk self and horniness. And I enjoyed it. I guess you are just going to have to stick with your decisions, Evelyn, and hope they aren't that made that they'll never talk to you again, Evelyn said to herself. Soon David woke up. The two got dressed and then headed to the Bullhead Landing to catch the first bullhead of the day at 6 a.m. Easy now. How are your legs? David whispered. Still a bit sore but fine. Just help me to the bathroom, Evelyn said. Sure. Let's try not to wake the others, David said. David. There's something I need to tell you, Evelyn said. What is it? David asked. I made a huge mistake. I was going to, Evelyn said. Welcome back, Penny said. Evelyn and David jumped in surprise. Penny. You're up already? Evelyn asked. I'm an early riser. Also, I thought you'd like someone to welcome you back, Penny said. That's vet considerate of you, Penny, David said. My pleasure. Anyway, you've been out a long time. The bulkhead Young had prepared for the Beacon students departed at 3 a.m. but you missed it. Did something happen? Penny asked. Nothing serious. We just lost track of time, David said. Yeah. We were distracted because we had been playing cards, Evelyn said. Playing cards? David asked. Playing cards? Penny asked. Yes, playing cards, David. That's why we were late, right? Evelyn said. Oh. Right. Absolutely, David said. Oh. Yeah, I guess if you were focused on a game, you could miss track of time, Penny said. Right, David said. Right, Evelyn said. Was the game before or after intercourse? Penny asked. Wah, Evelyn screamed. Evelyn then ran to the bathroom. Evelyn, wait, Penny shouted. Meanwhile, Deku had just gotten out of the shower. As he dried off his hair, he noticed something white on his outfit. Deku picked up the white object and held it in front of him. Deku then blushed as he realized the object was panties. Where did I get these from? Wait a minute, are they? Deku asked. Wah, Evelyn screamed. Evelyn, wait, Penny said. The bathroom door then flung open and standing in the doorway was Evelyn, behind her were David and Penny. Evelyn saw everything Deku had. Izuku is in the bathroom, Penny said. I'm sorry, Evelyn shouted. She then slammed the door and ran into the kitchen. Evelyn. What's wrong? Penny said. Penny. You knew? David asked. Well, her interest and desire of closeness with you increased after what happened with Howard. When you disappeared together at the club, I guessed there was a decent chance of intercourse, Penny said. I want to die. I wanna die, Evelyn cried out. But I can't understand why Evelyn hid herself in the bathroom. Why did my question upset her so? Penny asked. It's just. We wanted to try and keep it a secret. At least for a little while, David said. But why? Penny asked. Wah. Penny, I'm so sorry, Evelyn cried out. Evelyn then came out of the kitchen. I'm sorry. I didn't want to, but then he was so funny and nice with me even though I'm a pest. And then he didn't run and he was so cool and the clothes looked so good on him. And then I got. Then when I wanted, Evelyn cried. Evelyn, please calm down. You're starting to scare me, Penny said. Sorry, Penny. It's just. Evelyn didn't want to upset you, David said. Upset me how? Penny asked. Because me and David. We had. Even after I chose, Evelyn said. Deku then came out of the bathroom. Izuku. I'm so sorry for what I've done, Evelyn cried. What are you talking about? Deku asked. You don't. I confessed my feelings towards you and then I go off and pop David's cherry when I should have popped yours. Deku then hugged Evelyn. Calm down, Evelyn, Deku said. Calm down. How can I calm down when I confessed my love for you, made out with you and then went and fucked David? How can you say that? Evelyn cried, planting her face in Deku's chest. Wait, is that why you called me Izuku? David said. Evelyn cried even more. Well, to be honest, Evelyn, I don't remember that, Deku said. That doesn't make things any better. I went for you. But then my drunk stupid brain went and stole David from Penny. Tonight was the night I get with you and Penny and David get together and so there's no disruption to the team dynamic, Evelyn cried. Deku then held Evelyn's chin and brought her into a kiss. No. Why'd you do that? Evelyn said, breaking the kiss. Because it's the only way I could think of shutting you up, Deku said. You're not mad? Evelyn asked. Right now. I'm a complex of emotions. I don't know what to feel, Deku said. Evelyn. You and David are so silly. You'd thought I'd be upset that you went first with David, Penny said. Went first, David? Evelyn and Deku asked. Even if I wanted to, I'm still not prepared for that kind of activity. It would be truly selfish of me to keep the two of you from enjoying yourselves in the meanwhile, no, Penny said. But that's not the problem. I was supposed to do it with Deku. That was my plan, Evelyn said. Oh. I know. I saw the letter you wrote to Izuku and suspected that you made your decision. But no one ever said we had to be exclusive between us, Penny said. Between us, David? Evelyn and Deku asked. Does that mean? David asked. Penny then kissed Deku on the lips. I did it. See? I love you too, Izuku. And you too, David, Penny said, as she kissed David. It won't be that long, I swear. And then we can all enjoy ourselves together fully. Now Evelyn, are you able to keep them busy in the meanwhile? Penny asked. Fully. Keep them busy? Evelyn asked. Oh my gods, carrots. Indoor voices, Jack shouted. Sorry Jack, Evelyn said. Not only that, you two need to get plenty of rest. Come on, Evelyn. You should get a shower first, Penny said. Hey. What are you? Evelyn asked. Hold on. I think these are yours, Evelyn, Deku said, showing her white panties. So that's why you weren't wearing any. I thought you just went commando, David said. Thanks, Evelyn said. Penny then took Evelyn into the bathroom. Hey, no. Penny. I can walk on my own, Evelyn said. Actually, you were leaning on David for support earlier, so Penny said. Ah. Stupidly observant ginger, Evelyn said. Did that David said. Really just happened, Deku asked. Lick your lips, you two. There's your answer, Jack said. Is it a bad time to mention that? I didn't exactly disconnect in tone when Amber said. Deku and David faces flushed red. In the bathroom. Hey, Penny, Evelyn said from the shower. Yes, Penny said. Did you really mean what you said in there? You're not trying to make me feel better about my mistake, Evelyn asked. 100%, Penny said. You know that normal people don't usually do this kind of thing, right? Evelyn asked. I know. But we're not normal people, are we? Penny asked. How did you get the idea? Evelyn asked. Thanks to David. He doesn't have a normal person's life or past. But he never expected it to, so he doesn't suffer for it and just makes the best of what he has, Penny said. So, since you don't have any expectations about how these kinds of things work either, you want to? Evelyn said. Yes. I'd like to at least try because, you, Izuku and David, you're all important to me. And I don't want any one of us to be sad, Penny said. You're a pest, Evelyn said. Did I say something wrong? Penny asked. No. That's the problem. Penny, I mean, you're really cute, but I don't know if I like you that way. I don't know if I like girls that way, Evelyn said. Ame here. And I'm sure David and Izuku feel the same about each other, Penny said. So, can we take it very slowly? Evelyn asked. Of course, Penny said. Then I guess we can try, Evelyn said. A while later, Evelyn and David had both had a shower and were now in their own beds. Penny. Are you sure this will work out? Deku asked. I am 100% certain that we can make this work, Penny said. But how? This isn't something we can ask for advice on, Deku said. Then I guess we need to take it really slowly to find out, Penny said. Penny then kissed Deku. But not too slowly, Penny said. I do, Evelyn said. Yes, Evelyn, Deku asked. Can you come cuddle? I still feel guilty for what I've done, Evelyn said. If it'll make you feel better, Deku said. Deku then climbed into Evelyn's bed. Deku was still wearing his new outfit, whilst Evelyn was only in her underwear, which made Deku a bit flustered. Good night, boyfriend. Good night, girlfriend, Penny said. Good night, Penny, Deku said. Good night, Penny. You little pest, Evelyn said. Deku and Evelyn then fell asleep, and Penny went to cuddle with David. Despite their rough start, Penny felt in her heart that they would make this work and be happier together than anyone on Remnant. End of chapter 14.